Hello and welcome back to my RC channel. I'm Andy RC and today I'm going to be checking out the Eachine E56 Selfie drone. I think this is a upgrade to their E50 Selfie drone. Now it's nothing more than a toy grade quadcopter. It costs £35, so maybe a stocking filler, dare I say it. So this one actually comes with a very nice pouch. And it's like got a carbon fibre effect on it, and it's quite hard as well, so I think it is protecting quite nicely whatever's inside it. I will say though that at £35, I think a lot of the money has been spent on the case rather than the product. It must be, because this is a really nice case. Anyways, we've got some instructions here, and then we've got the Selfie drone quadcopter. It looks a little bit like a Spark, doesn't it? Maybe that's what they were going for. Anyways, it looks like 8mm brushed motors, but I can't see them properly, and they fold out here. Then we've got a camera up the front here. They say it's a 720p camera, but I'd be surprised if it was running 720p because you connect to it via the phone, so there's no SD card slot on here. It just sort of screen records, I guess you could say, the camera from the app, but the camera is adjustable. You can move it here. It feels very lightweight, and you can see underneath here that it has been sprayed. So yeah, it's toy grade quality, but what can you expect for £35 really? So we've got an on button on the top there. We've got a proprietary battery underneath, and this is, let's have a look, has it got any markings on it? So it's a 1S 500 milliamp proprietary battery. We've got a charger here, and it's using a little tiny connector, and that's just going to connect in there and then go into your computer, or if you've got a USB outlet somewhere. And it says that it's going to take 70 minutes to charge, so I can't imagine that's outputting many amps, but there you go, 70 minutes. I'm not sure what the flight time is going to be. We will check that out, but this just sort of slots in here, and then you shut it, and then it's got the on button there. So the controller, this is interesting, and it's going to be a bit of a challenge for me, this, because it's done away with the usual type of controller. So it's sort of just like a gyro. So this is sort of like your pitch, this is your roll, and then here we have got throttle. So it's an altitude hold quadcopter, so it's got a built-in barometer. And then this is the yaw. We've got 3 different rates on there. We've got an on button here, and then it takes 2 AAA batteries just underneath there. You have to add those yourself, of course. Then we've got various options here. So we have got a sort of automatic arm by pressing this in here, and then this one here is headless mode. Now normally I would say headless mode is no good, but this is a completely different type of aircraft, so it's not a hobby model at all. So it's basically for anyone that just wants to go but isn't thinking of pursuing a hobby with it. So headless mode actually might be quite useful, because that's very unnatural for me to control a model like this. So headless mode, if it works, might be good, because with it being a selfie model, you'll want the camera pointing at you, but of course the camera's at the front of the model and not the back. So headless mode actually might be useful, so I'll have to see. And then I like this, we've got an emergency stop here, so this arms the motors, but this one will stop them no matter what, which is nice for something like this, because they can easily get out of control. And then we have got a calibration of the accelerometer for the quadcopter. I think that's a long press of this button here, and then we can turn the lights off. So it's got some lights on it somewhere, and that button there turns the lights off. So let's take a look what else you get in the package. So I took the manual out already. It's a pretty good manual. So One issue I'm seeing with this is usually you have sort of like a phone holder for the video. We don't have that with this, so you're going to have to sort of hold your phone separately. And there's a QR code in the back here somewhere for the app. So I've got iOS and the Play Store. It's called Eachine Fly, and it's basically the same as all of these other Wi-Fi Go style apps. And I think you can control the quadcopter through the app, but because I've got a controller, I tend to find that it's more reliable, so I'm just going to be using the app to record the video. But I think through the app you can do 360 flips as well, and you have sort of like on the screen controls, but yeah, I'm not going to be checking that out. Use the controller because it's going to be the most reliable, and you've got a physical joystick as well if you want to get out of trouble in like physical movements and stuff. So let's have a look at some of the other stuff that comes in the package. And what's this? It's like a lavender smelly thing. Let's have a smell. Oh, that is not good. I don't think you want to keep that in there. What other stuff have we got? Looks like we've got like a sticky pad, some spare props, so yeah, a spare set and a screwdriver. And that's about everything. So let's go and take it for a fly. Okay, so I've connected to the Wi-Fi hotspot that the model creates, and I'm also bound with this controller. So I've gone into the app and I've started the video recording. I'm in the lowest rate, so let's press the arming button. And you can see there the motors have armed, but it's not lifted up, so I'm going to now lift up the throttle. You have to make sure that you get this controller at the right angle. You can see there it pushed back, and it's not windy here today at all, but that is very docile. So very quiet beep into the second rate, so let's see what that's like. Seems alright. Altitude hold looks like it's working right as well. So let's try the third rate. There we go, third rate. So not a lot of difference actually between all of them. It's quite awkward holding the phone like this. One thing I should say as well is the file that saves to your phone is a H.264 file that does not have a video container, and this is going to be a huge downside for a lot of people because it means you're going to have to mess about adding a video container using a program such as MP4 Box, I think it's called. Or you could reconvert it using VLC player. But yeah, a bit of a pain. This thing's so stable. Right, let's see if some of these features work. So turn LEDs off. That one seems to work. And back on again. Now, I'm going to do something unusual here, and that is try headless mode. And that is because it's going to be difficult to orientate this quadcopter using this controller. So I think the top one is headless mode, so everything's still working fine there. I'm actually getting a beep from the controller. I think it's saying that that's headless mode perhaps. It's a little bit annoying. Luckily it's not too loud. Right, let's yaw around. And the controls still work fine. See if I can get me in shot now, like a selfie model would be. So the sun's going down here and it's looking quite dark on the phone, and looks like it's breaking up as well. Let's see if I can. Okay, let's take it out of. Oh, I think it did like a. Did it do a wonky return thing there? I don't know what happened there. I think it's just because it's backwards. Yeah, so let's flip it round the right way. And this is confusing now, because if I want to go and stand over there, the controls will still be backwards, won't they? So actually, what I can do is take it out of headless mode. Nah, everything goes backwards. So yeah, it calibrates the headless mode on when you take off, and there's also the calibration button as well. So let's stick it back into headless mode, and then yeah, I'm trying to get it so that I've not got so much light behind me, but I can't really do that because of the orientation. Well, there you go, I'm sort of in shot there. You can hear the controller beacon away to say that it's in headless mode. So how long we've been flying? 5 minutes. It's not bad for the battery size. I'll have to see how long it actually flies for. I like how this thing looks, but it is really just a copy of the Spark, isn't it? Nice and quiet, no vibrations. Not bad for the money, I think you have to say. Really accurate controls. I like it. Surprising actually how much fun this thing is. I was ready to write it off, but I like it. Great stocking filler, dare I say that. Yeah, just a little bit of an issue with the video container. I mean, I run an RC channel, so I'm quite used to having to mess around with video, but if you're not, then you can still play the video back on the phone. But yeah, putting it on a computer's quite tricky. Yeah, that camera's completely going dark there. Testing the dynamic range out. As for the actual range, as in distance, you don't want to go any further than 30 meters, otherwise your video will cut out. And we don't want that. So I just wonder, let's bring it back a bit. Let's take it out of headless mode, because yeah, I've taken it out of headless mode. It looks like we've got an LVC now, and it's landing itself. Look. Oh, nearly got the pad. Not quite. Okay, stop the video there. So yeah, I think for the money, it's pretty cool. Like I say, if you want to do a lot of stuff with the video, you're gonna have to mess around adding containers for video files. Yeah, so if you're not into that, then maybe this one isn't for you, but I like it. I like this controller as well. I'll put a link in the description if you wish to get one. As always, thanks so much for watching. Please continue to subscribe. Cheers.